In this video, I compare two Lotus Emiras, one with the supercharged V6 and the 6-speed manual transmission versus the turbocharged 4 with the 8-speed dual clutch. While both make 400 horsepower, they sound and drive quite different. We test out the launch control of the DCT and try and match its 0 to 60 time with the 6-speed manual. I then take each through some amazing mountain roads and pick my favorite. Here we are, I'm back up at the Tennessee cabin. Each time I come up, I like to try out a different car. And this time, Lotus of Naples was awesome enough to drop off not one, but two Lotus Emiras. We have the red one on the right side here. This has this supercharged V6, 400 horsepower with the manual transmission. And over here on the left, we have the turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder engine with an 8-speed dual clutch. Now, previously on the channel, we did a full review on the V6 Supercharged Emira. That was the blue one I had at my house down in South Florida. But today we're gonna be able to compare both cars. The white one actually has the touring suspension and the red one has the sport suspension. So we're gonna see how the different suspensions act throughout the foothills, maybe tail of the dragon. As you can see, it's a bit dreary here today, so I'm gonna do the full walk-arounds of the car. We're gonna hear both engines and then we'll head out and do some driving, hopefully tomorrow morning when the weather clears up a little bit. Now, another difference between the two cars you might notice is this has a red roof and the white one has the optional full black pack, which blacks out the mirrors and the full roof along the back. I love this look. It looks really, really cool. I like the blacked out top look. Color looks good. Blacked out is what I prefer. All right, let's check out the V6 in the back here. Give this a little sound check. So popping open here, you can see supercharged V6, titanium exhaust finishers. Let's hear what it sounds like. We got a little start button here. All right. It's got a little bit of a rumble to it. All right, next up, let's check out the 4-cylinder turbo. And as you can see, there's an engine cover hiding the engine. But if we just pull back here and snap, you can remove this. Just see the 4-cylinder. You can see it's got a little Mercedes emblem there. We got some AMG references. You can see the turbocharger. It looks like some kind of interesting vent back there. Maybe that is some kind of sound generator that goes between the engine and the cockpit. But let's start this up and see what this here is like. I know this sounds a lot better because I've already driven the car. Start, put the foot on the brake, start it up. Now this does have valved exhaust. So we're gonna use this button here and move it down into the track position. And I can hear it kind of open up a little bit. So I'm gonna give it a couple revs inside. Woohoo, listen to that. That is actually pretty cool. You can hear a little bit of pops in the turbo flutter. Inside both cars, they're mostly identical except for, of course, this center part here. We got the 6-speed manual transmission, which is powered by the supercharged V6. The sticker price on the V6 first edition comes in at $96,000. There's no options on here except for a vehicle tracker. Since I've already done a full review on the V6, I'm gonna spend a little more time with the 4-cylinder here. So let's jump inside and see what the differences are. Of course, yeah, I mean, it looks pretty much the same, except over on the inside here, of course, we have a automatic dual clutch transmission. Let's go ahead and give it a start up. It is a little different to shift, of course. Now to do that, it's got little indicators. You got neutral, reverse, plus and minus. It's also got paddle shifters left and right. If you want to put it in reverse, you put your foot on the brake and you actually press up twice and that'll put it in reverse. If you want to go back to neutral, you pull it back once. That puts it neutral. Of course, this is park. And if you want to go into drive, you just pull this back twice. There we go, we are in first gear. I'm gonna go ahead and put it back in park. Over here we have our infotainment screen. Right now we're on the performance screen, which shows you the G-forces. It also has a lap timer as well. Over here, it's got Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, wired, wireless, you got your tire pressures, and then your media. Down here, you select your drive mode. So if you pull down once, this will bring up the drive mode selector. It starts off in touring. You can bring that into sport. That actually opens the exhaust valves. And if you go into track, hit it again, and you have to actually double click it, go down to track. It goes into track mode, and the display changes over here. This car also has launch control and track mode. If you just depress the brake and the throttle, goes into launch mode. It actually launches pretty good. We're actually gonna do a couple side-by-side runs just to see who's quicker, the V6 or the 4-cylinder. Drop in the comments and guess if you think a manual shifting 6-cylinder supercharged or the 2-liter 4-cylinder turbocharged with this DCT is quicker. I got launch control.
And I don't. And we're on a hill.
Now also around the corner, what you really can't see from your driving position is a volume knob, which is great to have, and also a play and pause button for the audio. Now, as you might imagine, with the turbo shift 4-cylinder and the dual clutch transmission, this car comes a little more expensive. The base price is actually $99,000. We have the optional black pack for $1,400. We have the yellow stitching, and that total comes in at $104,000. I want to check out some CarPlay. I'm just going to use the wired version. I'm just going to plug it into my phone right here. You can see it lights up and says CarPlay. Then over here we got a nice responsive touchscreen, and then we want to go into your Waze or your different audio tracks. Pretty easy to use. If you want to go back to home, you can click there and go back to there. Back to CarPlay, hit home, and back over here to CarPlay. Both cars has a KEF 560 watt stereo system. Actually sounds pretty good. Decent amount of bass, highs. I'm not sure how many speakers this have. I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, and probably some speakers in the back somewhere as well. On down here, we got 2 cup holders. If you open up the center console here, we have USB-C and USB-A. Glove box up here. I think there's a button there. You press that. So you got a glove box as well. Now for storage, oddly enough, the front of the Emira doesn't open up at all. We got 2 little kind of storage compartments. One behind the seats. There's like a small kind of storage shelf back here. You could store maybe a bag if you had your seats up. And then behind the engine, similar to my Corvette, you have a storage compartment back here. If you click down on the right here, this little settings gear icon, this gets into the car settings. So into car, we got our general parking brake, windscreen wiping, car information, driver support. We got collision avoidance, we got security settings, we got exterior lighting settings. One thing I love here is the mirror settings. Exterior mirror tilting while reversing. I think all cars should really have this. It's so annoying that a lot of my exotics don't have this. When I back up, I like to look at the mirrors left and right to see what's going on. So you put this in reverse, the mirrors tilt down, which is really great. There's also a rear view camera, so if we go into reverse, you can see that the mirrors are dipping down, and we've got our reverse camera, and it's got some settings here for putting the lines on the screen and the volume and so forth. On your connection settings, you got Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, your system settings for language unit, clock, keyboard settings, reset settings, and your voice commands. Audio, we actually do have an equalizer here to go along with that KEF stereo, which is kind of cool. Sound balance, ringtone, volume adjustments for all the different volume settings for the phone and the media and so forth. We also have vehicle speed compensation, so the audio will adjust the faster you go. So if you hold down on any given item, it lights up, and you can actually rearrange these however you want them on the screen, which is interesting. Also up here is a quick panel. If you click there, you can get to things a little quicker, kind of like a shortcut. I don't know if you can add more things to this. I tried a few options to drag this up there, but wasn't able to do it. On the inside, we got a nice mix of leather. We got Alcantara, some kind of stainless steel looking here. Across the dash, we got yellow stitching on the leather, Alcantara dash here, and the seats I really like, which is a nice Alcantara mix of leather and Alcantara. All right, so we're in the 4-cylinder turbo with the 8-speed DCT. We're gonna go down the foothills. It's been raining the last couple days. It's finally starting to dry up, so probably can't go too quick. We got Got some pops and crackles with the exhaust. Downshifting with the paddles right now. Pretty responsive. Now this has the touring suspension, so I expect a little bit more body roll than the red one that has the sport suspension, but still doing very, very well. I'm gonna go ahead and put this back in automatic mode and see how it behaves. You can definitely hear there's a lot of turbo whistle here. Turning, oh, we just saw a deer fly by, and we got a turkey up here. Wow, look at this. We got turkeys and deers. Gotta be careful out here. So we're in downshift in a second here. Wow, the turbo sounds are just awesome. It's got a lot of torque too. Wow, this car's a lot of fun. Roads are still just a little damp, so we gotta take it easy. Right now we're in track mode. Listen to those pop-offs. A little bit of wet pavement right here. Wow, this car's a lot of fun. Let's see how many G's we could take on this corner. It looks pretty dry. Very nimble. It's really hard to beat the DCT. I mean, it's a lot of fun. It's got a lot of torque. You can hear that pop-off valve coming off. It's got a lot of turbo flutter, which I'm sure you can hear. If we could do a little draggy test real quick. Lotus Emira does have launch control. If you're in track mode, hold down the brake and nail the throttle. There's no launch button or anything. You just go like this, and it says launch. And at that point, we let go, and let's try a little 0 to 60. All right, here we go, engaging launch. Oh, it moved pretty good. All right, so 0 to 60 with that little bit of spin was actually 3.6 seconds with the rollout, 3.4. That's quite a bit better than Lotus quotes. I think they quote 0 to 60 at 4 seconds for the DCT and like 4.4 for the Supercharged with the manual transmission. Oh, we finally got the sun peeking out here. Yeah, I mean, this thing holds a lot of G's through the corners here. Here are those pops coming through. Oh, you can hold the revs up here like 6,000 coming around this corner. Yeah. Oh, we got a little wet spot here. We got some of the rain comes through the mountain sometimes and crosses the foothills right here. Oh man, this car, it's so nimble. It's kind of go-kart-like-ish, which is great for these roads because bigger cars just can't take some of the corners like the smaller cars can when you do tail the dragon. We're not gonna be able to hit tail the dragon today because it's too far out from the cabin today. But I think we're gonna have this Lotus up here for a little longer time up here at the cabin, so I'm sure I'll be up here soon to get some more time with it. I gotta say, driving some of these, I wouldn't, let's say slower cars, but you know, it's definitely not as fast as some of my other cars. Through these roads, it's actually kind of fun because you can roll through the gears without going like 150 miles an hour. crossing this beautiful bridge right here to the foothills. What a great view we got up here. And we'll pull off to the side right here. We're gonna head back the other way now. Oh man, I think this car with the sport suspension, yeah, I could feel a little bit of body roll compared to the car with the V6 that has the sport suspension. Driving dynamics are great. The view out the front is awesome. Downshifting in this corner right here. Oh yeah. Oh man. I wish it was a little drier out because we could really rip this thing. You can hear those pops and crackles. This is awesome. What a car. I think the shorter gears on the DCT are just a little more fun to drive than the 6-cylinder. And honestly, like holding onto the wheel with both hands is kind of nice. All right, now we're in the red Lotus with the supercharged V6, and you can see it here, the manual transmission. Now this car has the sport suspension compared to the white one that had the touring suspension. And we're gonna give it through a test run through the same spots that we just rode the white one and give it and see what this manual transmission is all about. Oh, a little spin. First impressions is, in first gear when you first leave it, it's got a lot of torque. That instant supercharger torque is clearly right there. So like coming off a stop, just cruising and giving it the guns. It's got an instant punch that maybe the turbocharged car doesn't have, but as you go up through the gears, that's where the turbo really shines. And I think the first thing I'm really noticing here is that there's a lot more shifting involved in the DCT. Obviously, the DCT's got 8 gears to go through, and this manual transmission's only got 6. So the gears are just way, way longer, which I guess has got its pluses and minuses. For a manual, it keeps you from shifting as much. Imagine having an 8-speed manual, have to shift every couple seconds. But it does feel like, well, wrong gear. That's the other thing. Yeah, at the top end, the DCT just feels like it's got more power. Oh, there's that turkey that we came across earlier. I don't see the deer though. So yeah, it's definitely obviously more work to drive the manual. And coming through the corners, I'm noticing maybe a little tiny less bit of roll compared to the touring suspension, the sport suspension here. Again, it's still a little bit damp out, so it's hard to really push it anywhere near the limits. But you definitely gotta be in a much lower gear to get the torque to come through these corners with the manual. Is it more fun? Arguably. but I feel like it might get tiring through some of these roads. Yeah, second gear is where it's at, but it's sitting there revving at about 5,000 RPM. Red line's like 6,200. So you really got to hold these revs. Coming through here. All right, now we're gonna give it a 0 to 60 test. Put it in first gear. Launch, I don't know where we're gonna launch. Maybe about 5,000. Spun. Aye, that's definitely not as fast. 5,000. Spun. Aye, that's definitely not as fast. It actually spun a little bit at the beginning, then it seemed to spin a little bit towards the top, and then it kind of hit the shift limiter there. There's no way anyone's beating the 0 to 60 time of the DCT with this manual transmission. But you really need to be in that lower RPMs to really feel the power. Sound-wise, I love a little supercharger whine like in my Ford GT, but I gotta say, yeah, the turbo, with the flutter sounds of the turbos, and little pops and crackles, for me, it's just a more fun experience. Now, a lot of people were commenting on my Instagram post that if you're gonna have a Lotus, you gotta have a manual transmission, probably because we're Lotus's roots with all their previous cars. But me being an all-out speed guy, my choice is definitely going with, I think my ultimate preference for the Lotus Emira would be this sport suspension with the turbocharged engine and the DCT transmission. I mean, I feel like the manual's fun, but it might get tiring, especially through a road like Tail of the Dragon, where you might be upshifting and downshifting quite a bit, around 318 turns. Oh, we hit traffic. Usually there's no traffic here this morning, this early. Luckily we were able to pass right there. These roads are just amazing up here. Look at the views we got. Incredible. I gotta spend more time up here. We might leave this Lotus up here for a month or two. I know there's a Lotus rally coming up. Naples and Motorsports, I think, is participating. Definitely gotta get a shout out to Todd at Naples Motorsports for bringing both cars up here. We had a great time running these cars through their paces. Let's see if we're I mean, manual shifting is fun for sure. So that's a wrap of my comparison between the two Emiras, turbocharged 4-cylinder with the 8-speed DCT, supercharged V6 with the manual transmission. Now, you can also get an automatic transmission in the V6, however, it is not going to be the 8-speed DCT. It's going to be a regular 6-speed automatic. After spending quite a bit of time with both these, my preference would be the turbocharged 4. It sounds better. The 8-speed DCT does a great job. It's got more gears. It's a bit more fun. You could probably tune the turbocharged engine as well. It's an AMG engine, so I'm sure you can add some more horsepower to that easier than you would be able to do with the supercharged V6 with a pulley change and so forth. One of the things I think would be super cool is a roadster or a convertible version of the Emira. I think top down in a small car like this with the engine sounds would just be incredible. Either a Targa or a convertible hardtop. Maybe that's coming soon, I don't know, but I think that would be a really cool addition to the Emira lineup. Obviously the DCT is a lot quicker, both from a launch and from a roll, because you have to deal with that shifting and it's got shorter gearing. 0 to 60, super impressive, way better than what Lotus quotes. We were getting 3.5 without the rollout, 3.3 with rollout, and on the manual transmission, we were kind of in the mid-4s. Side by side in those races, you saw the DCT is just it just moves away from the V6. No matter how good you end up shifting with the V6, you are no way gonna keep up with the 8-speed DCT. And let me know what the comments will you prefer. You want the turbocharged 8-speed DCT or the V6 supercharged with the manual transmission? Drop in the comments, let me know what you think. As always, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit the thumbs up, helps the video and the channel, and we will see you next time. A lot more trips coming up at the Tennessee cabin. Thanks for watching.